What's up guys, Eli here, back for another new stuff video. I made an order through Deathgasm Records. Not through their website or anything, but just from their discogs store. Was browsing. He had a couple of things I wanted, so I figured I'd check out what else he had. And it's a pretty good discog store. He's got a bunch of stuff. Stuff that he's done, labels he's done trades with over the years. And if you're not familiar with Deathgasm Records, they are an extreme metal label formed in 1996 in Georgia. I've bought stuff from them over the years. Death metal, black metal. I think he does grindcore. Pretty good label. I've always enjoyed his output. And all these releases that I have, none of these were through Deathgasm, but I figured I'd give him a plug anyways, because he's got a good discog store and it's a solid label, in its own right. So let's see what I got from Deathgasm. Now this is an interesting one right here from 2005 debut EP from God, I can't talk today. From Charnel Valley. This band formed in 2005 in the U.S. It was a two-man band, not active anymore. Now what's interesting about this, came out on Paragon Records by the way, what's interesting about this band is that it was a band of Marty Worm. From Beinrune Recordings and The Glorious Dead and all the stuff that he does. And the other guy, so Marty performed vocals and guitar, bass and drums, if I remember correctly. S. Craig Zoller, who used to write for Metal Maniacs with Marty. He's now a famous movie director. He's done some awesome movies. I'm actually a big fan. Check out stuff that he's done. Probably my favorite movie that he's done would be Bone Tomahawk. I also like Dragged Across Concrete. I've really Brawl in Cell Block 1399. I don't know. Brawl in Cell Block something with Vince Vaughn. Another great movie. He's just awesome. I'm a huge fan of his directing. And so Charnel Valley, I'd actually wanted to get something from this band. I heard them years back, or not that many years back, a couple of years back. And I remember telling Marty that I liked it, and he's like, "Well, I wish I had a copy to send you, but I haven't had any of that stuff for a long time." So I haven't spent much time with this EP. They also had like a split and a full length, I think, if I remember correctly. It's definitely raw black metal, not super raw, but raw enough, and it's just good. That's all I can say. Check out Charnel Valley. I'll leave a little sound clip for you to maybe interest you. I don't know if Deathgasm has any more copies of this, but I'm sure you can find it somewhere on Discogs for a reasonable price. Charnel Valley, check them out. Good black metal. Then I've been working on getting everything I can from Keep of Callison. I've liked this band for a long time. This is the second album, Armada, from 2006. Third album, I'm sorry. I'm fucking brain dead right now, I swear. So this band formed in 1995 out of Norway. Really, really good stuff. Epic black metal. They started off more 90s sounding, kind of raw. They've always been a little bit symphonic, but as they would progress over the years, they would just become more and more, grandiose, epic. It's really good. They would kind of fizzle out before they called it quits. They came back, and I haven't heard any of their comeback stuff. They kind of fizzled out, put out some pretty weak albums. The album after this is also pretty good, but everything I heard after that album was just, I don't know why, but it was just garbage. But all the early stuff, the 90s stuff into the mid-2000s, in my opinion, fucking superb. So if you like epic, grandiose black metal, like I said, check out Keep of Callison. I've just always really liked it, so check them out. And I remember hearing this one years back. This is the second album from 2002 from Arulu, band formed in 1997 out of Israel. Satanic War in Jerusalem. Obviously, back in those days, not a whole lot of bands like this out of the Middle East in general. What you have here is black death metal. I would kind of compare it to fellow countryman Melakesh. I would kind of, throw some comparisons there. Maybe a little bit of Apsu, maybe a little bit of Nile, stuff like that. Pretty good from what I remember. I haven't heard this album in a long time, but I remember liking it. Remember hearing it on a blog, I don't know, 10, 15 years ago. So we'll see if it holds up. Check out Araloo. Then another one that I remember from, back in the day, when I used to look for black metal on blogs, Nefastus Dies. This is Urban Cancer. This is their debut album from 2006. This band formed in 2003 in Canada, Quebec, if I remember correctly. This is just some violent black death metal from what I remember. I haven't heard it for, God, probably close to 15 years. Remember it being really good, so hopefully it holds up. I'm sure it does. So Nefastus Dies. Check it out. Then I've got the debut Burial Hordes album from 2005. War, Revenge, and Total Annihilation. This band formed in 2001 out of Greece. Asphyxiate Recordings. This came out on, I'm kind of failing to say record labels here, but I'm doing my best. I don't know why. It's Monday and I'm just, running on like 5 brain cells. This is just violent black metal. They don't have, the traditional Greek sound by any stretch of the imagination. It's just more black metal, so violent, almost verging on war metal. This is a really good album, but I would actually highly recommend their newest album. I think it just came out this year. I think it's actually the best thing they've ever done. So they have gotten better and better, but this is still a good album. I would still highly recommend this. Burial Hordes out of Greece. Definitely check them out. Then I've been trying to fill in, the gaps, the many gaps actually, with my Needs of Asphodel collection. I think I only had 1 or 2 albums previously, but I've always really liked them, so I've been working on getting as much stuff from them as I can. They formed in 1998 out of England. They are a black metal band, essentially, but they have just tons of different influences. They're very experimental, to say the least. They got like psychedelic rock influences. They've tampered around with like hip hop beats and electronic elements and just whatever they feel like doing. Really, again, they're a black metal band at their core, but they tend to veer very, very far out of black metal territory. They're one of those bands where you never really know what to expect, but it's always really fucking good. So, picked up this. Mill Hill Sessions. It's a compilation from 2004. Probably not a mandatory release, but I grabbed it anyway. This is basically kind of bare bones versions of songs that would appear on other albums. I don't know what albums. I haven't really gone through it yet, but just from what I've read, that's what it is. The point of this recording being, I'm not really sure, but I love this band, and I'm just trying to pick up everything from them that I can. Then I've got their third album from 2005, Damascus Steel. Haven't heard this album. This is, I have heard the first 2 for sure, and then I've heard most of their, stuff they've done in the last 10 years. So I can't really say too much about this. Stoked to listen to it. I know this band has gotten, by the way, this came out on Godria, and this album came out on the infamous Supernal Music, which is, one of the labels that is pretty much came under fire for their... the label I don't think is active anymore, but the main guy from the label is pretty much a famous extreme right-wing figure. And I think that is kind of where the Needs of Asphodel they've gotten criticism. They've gotten criticized for being a right-wing band. They have completely denounced it. In fact, you're not going to find any extreme right wing shit in any of their lyrics. And I'm not just trying to defend a band pointlessly. Again, they've came out and said that, but I think maybe just the fact that they were associated with this label, I think that probably, wasn't a good look for them. But you got to remember, this is from back in 2005, when most black metal fans, myself included, we didn't really associate bands with what label they were on. We judged them purely on, their personal politics and the way they conducted themselves. So I'm not trying to defend anybody. I'm just trying to give you some facts. What I like about Meads of Asphodel, other than the fact that they're a really cool band, I always thought it was interesting how they are one of those bands who they definitely like to poke the bear, so to speak. They do write some pretty controversial stuff when it comes to like religion, and they tend to not shy away from taboo topics. And I actually really respect them for that. I think it's really cool, and just everything about this band to me is just really fucking cool. So I've always liked them, although maybe not always. I'll admit, when I first heard them, I think they were just way too experimental for me, and I just wanted to hear just raw black metal at the time. Yeah, but they definitely grew on me, and I think they've gotten better and better with every release. I think their last 3 albums have been the best stuff they've ever done. But I like the early stuff too, and yeah, check them out if you're a black metal fan that likes to kind of experiment with different types of black metal. If you're just someone that listens to pure raw black metal, you're probably not going to like Meads. But if you have an open mind, which I didn't always, but I do these days, so check them out if you are interested in black metal that's very, very experimental. If you're looking for just pure raw black metal, you're not going to find it here. Maybe on their demos, but even then, even in their demo phase, they were already starting to push boundaries. Anyways, that's it. Definitely check out Deathgasm, whether it be their website or their discogs page. It's a good label. They got a good distro, and just all around solid stuff. So that's it for now. I appreciate you guys as always. I'm gonna go take Louie for a walk, and I hope you guys are having a good day, a good week. As always, thanks for stopping by. Fucking cheers.